Hi, this is Paul Sackett, Good News Planet. I'm speaking with Heather Graham. Hi, Heather. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Okay, good. Heather, you've written 1,700 books. How do you have time to eat? That's my question.
I definitely have time to eat. So I am really good at writing on a kind of feel like a Dr. Seuss level, like on a plane, in a train, wherever I happen to be. I'm really lucky. I think I love what I get to do for a living, and that helps a lot. So, and I, actually don't want to admit quite how many years I've been doing it too, which helps a lot.
Okay. Well, and you don't have to. No one's forcing you, Heather. But I have The Unholy, which is, I guess, your latest book, June 26th, coming out just a day or so ago. And tell us a little bit about that, and then we have some special opportunity for the audience as well. Tell us a little bit about the book.
The book is part of what we refer to as the Crew of Hunters series, and it's actually kind of, I guess it's the second series within a series, loosely based on a group of FBI agents that I hired specifically for their paranormal talents. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to think the best way would be maybe Criminal Minds meets Medium. And in the Unholy was especially fun for me because I have a young friend who grew up in Miami and wound up with one of the most wonderful jobs in the world. She's a tremendous artist and costumer, and she works for Legacy, which is the old Stan Winston studios out in Hollywood. And so the Unholy came from a trip I'd made to California where I met up with her, and she was given permission to take us on a tour of the studios. And I was just so bowled over because there's these tremendous, terrifying zombie creatures from movies right next to the little pig that's in the insurance commercials and all kinds of things. It's just an amazing place to get to see.
I love Hollywood. I got bitten early on in '72 when I went cross-country camping out and got a job at Television City in CBS next to the Farmers Market. And New Yorker, said, "What the heck is going on here?" And with the sets and the lights and the action, that's really a showbiz town, isn't it?
It really is, and it's funny. My youngest daughter, I had majored in theater in Florida, and I worked dinner theater and commercials for years before I started writing. But,
really? Wow.
Yeah, but my
your talent.
Well, I was going to say we are a right-to-work state, and so our dinner theater did not pay that well, and it wasn't a terrific income. Commercials were good, but they were kind of, in between. But you really could not make a great deal of money, and I did wind up with 5 children, so I'm really grateful the writing
5 children?
worked. Yeah.
Wow,
there's 5 in that.
You are magnificent. Okay, that's beautiful. That's great. You have
Thank
grandchildren
you.
already?
No. I have adorable little great nephews whom I enjoy. But
so we're still on The Unholy.
Okay. So I get, this is a great thing about writing. I give people all kinds of things that I would love to see or love to have. So this special effects studio is connected to a film noir cinema, and it was all owned by one old fellow who was simply in love with it, and he'd bought a lot of property, and it just really naturally and conveniently happens to be by one of the oldest cemeteries in the Hollywood area. And as the plot thickens, bodies begin to pop up. The first being in a little underground museum where they have all kinds of tableaux set of old film noir, and going through it, they find that one of the tableaus no longer has a mannequin but a dead body, and then more bodies show up. And, of course, they have to find out what went on in the past and is causing what's going on at the present where all these people are being murdered.
Wow. This is exciting. Do you, when you write the books, do you think of movies while you write a book, that one day someone's going to make an unholy movie?
I do and I don't. I've been at it a long time, and sometimes I think where people will write me, oh my God, I can just see this on film. I think that naturally I'd like to see it happen. It would be fun. And I've been optioned several times. But being optioned and then having it actually become a movie can be many different things, because the recent Janet Ivanovich had been optioned for over 10 years before it finally got made. So you never know. Hollywood is a quirky place, and it depends on what producer sees what and wants to get it made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely not against having it happen. It just hasn't.
Okay. All right. Well, and it shall.
Okay. See, there you go. When you start producing movies, I'll be calling you.
Well, we have two ready to go.
Really?
So we're just looking for some funding for that, and we're yeah. So,
I did not know that.
You got to come to our studio too, because we have a beautiful studio. 2 studios here in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, which is like a very hot area right now in New York. And our studio looks like a movie set. Both of them look like they're actually, for some of your stuff, the one studio on the second floor that my landlord, who was actually had 2 antique stores as well, and this place is packed with stuff. You'd like this place. It could probably fit into some of your visualization, which is so wonderful. You have, you see a lot of good things, and that's what makes people probably very happy reading your book, because they're interesting and entertaining and sensual and paranormal.
Well, I would love to see it.
Yeah. Are you in New York?
And I'm in New York a lot. So actually, I'm up there on July 10th. So maybe
come on
I'll
over.
see if I can come by. I would love to.
Oh, I'd love you to do that. All right, come over for lunch.
I will definitely do that. Yeah, I'm actually there for something called Thriller Fest. I don't know if you've heard of that one or not, but it's a great conference. It takes place at the Hyatt every year. And what they've done with Thriller Fest, they've combined everything, because before it was like a mystery is a mystery, a suspense is a suspense, a horror is a horror. But these days, lines are so wiggly. And so Thriller celebrates books that just thrill you in one way or another. So we just have a wonderful lineup there of names. We get James Patterson,
mm-hmm.
and I just went dead blank on 18 million other people. Douglas Preston, Lee Child. It's just a wonderful lineup of people, and the great thing about writers is they're incredibly giving, and for some reason, one would think that we'd be afraid of more competition, but it's kind of like, oh, what the heck, what are we going to read if other people don't write? So they tend to be incredibly giving, and the conference is a lot of fun. So
actually, I have attended that Thriller conference, and I will come over on the 10th as well, and we'll figure out a way that you can get over here to see the studio as well.
If that's where I would absolutely love to, and you've made it sound like something
I have an artist in here drawing right now.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's really we're kind of we like having fun.
Oh, that sounds absolutely great.
So tell us about this. You have some kind of a opportunity after Hurricane Katrina, of which we did actually a big concert for, the first one here in New York, and raised money for the Salvation Army. So Katrina is dear to us. What is this What is this?
Okay, well, trying to make a long story short, which I'll do as quickly as possible. I've spent a tremendous amount of time in New Orleans since I was a little girl, and it's so funny because my dad took me, I think, when I was about 5. And it's not like I went walking down Bourbon Street with him or anything, but we went to the museums. We went to where the Louisiana Purchase had been made, and off of Jackson Square and the Catawba buildings. And I just fell in love with it from the time I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my best friends lives in Lafayette, so she and I would always meet in New Orleans. And I wound up with a lot of friends in New Orleans. And then after the storm, I wound up with an extra child for about 6 months because she had been completely flooded out. And going back to New Orleans, I was talking with friends who owned one of the carriage companies. And she was so sweet and so desperate because she was saying that they were like incredibly grateful for the American people, but what they needed to do was go back to work. To go back to work, you needed tourists.
Right.
So we figured, okay, as writers, we should do a conference, because who uses New Orleans more than writers? It's it's such a atmospheric, incredible place. It's so many people use it when they're working. So we decided to have a writers convention, and then we were like, what kind of writers? And we don't care what kind of writers, and we don't even care if you write, if you read. We don't even care if you read. Just come. We'll make sure we have parties. So we put together Writers for New Orleans, and it really is fantastic. I have friends who host a welcome party, and then we have an evening party, and then on Saturday night we do dinner theater, and then on Sunday we have a wonderful tea with breakfast. And I'm really excited this year. We have Jonathan Mayberry, David Morrell, and Eileen Dreyer as featured speakers, a whole slate of other speakers. And we're going to be, we theme it every year, and this year we are theming on the fact that it is 100 years since the Titanic, and it's also 100 years since the death of Bram Stoker.
Wow.
We're going to be, And our dinner theater is titled Vampires of the Titanic at Christmas. So we get and it's interactive. So if you come, if you're terribly shy and don't want to be talked to, we have little signs that you can put up. But otherwise, it's interactive. You get
don't
dragged
talk
into
to me.
things.
I'm shy.
I'm getting that from talking to you.
Oh, no. That was for someone else to put that on there. The thing is, I never stop talking. No. So I love it. So we go to your website. We can learn about Heather Graham Writers for New Orleans contest at Truth Be Told, which is a great publishing company, great group of people behind you, really good, sensitive, kind, loving group. I like that group. And they work very hard to give back. They're very good. They do something every year called or every other year, I'm not sure, but it's More Than Words. Right.
I've taken part in it, and they do stories to honor people who have gone out of their way to do things for the community. So they also help a lot. I have a friend who does a drive for diabetes, juvenile diabetes, and they just help on everything. They really do get into giving back.
Right.
So when this came up, it was like, it was kind of like, we should do, a giveaway for the convention. And at first it was like, what convention are we going to give away for it? It was kind of like, wait a minute, I have my own. Let's do that one. There you go.
That's beautiful. That's great. Well, this is a lot of good stuff. Heather, what I like to do is I'm going to ask you in a second, what's your good news? That's my last question normally, all right? But I want to make this, I'd like to talk to you again when you have some time, because I really like to learn something about, here it goes, those who love Heather's special brand of paranormal and romantic suspense. But I'd like to learn a little bit about paranormal and your thought process in that regard. And I'd like to make another interview, if you would be so kind.
Absolutely.
To go and let's do that. So we're going to go at it that way. So this has all been great stuff. Is there anything else we should be saying at this moment to the audience?
Well, dear, also I'm going to be coming out with soon, because I actually get to do a lot of really wonderful, intriguing things in the pursuit of the paranormal. Every year, a group of horror writers and I spend the night at Lizzie Borden's house. We're about off to do that. I have done the Myrtles for a weekend, the supposedly most haunted plantation in the South, and we get to do. I just recently did the Queen Mary with friends, Peace River Ghost Trackers. So we did one of the ghost expeditions there. So in the next year, I'm going to be coming out with something, because I think that what people miss sometimes is the amount of things everyone can do if they want to. So we're hopefully going to get that out soon.
Yay. Good stuff. All righty. Well, you definitely are the one, so you'll probably be doing that while you're walking to the coffee shop. You don't waste any time. Let me ask one question, then what's your good news? My one question is, because I guess you're passionate and because you love what you do, that every moment you get a chance to do it, you want to be doing it? Question.
Definitely. I really do love to write. I spend a great deal of time writing, but I'm also lucky, I think, with some of the opportunities I've had. But I also think that it's really important that people who are writing don't get so bogged down that they don't go out and do things, because, you know, the things that you do and say around you are what are going to give you the passion to write. So it's a delicate balance. That doesn't mean forget that you have to sit down and write if you want to write. Just don't forget to, I guess, see the world around you while you're doing it.
Beautiful. Okay, Heather, thank you so much for sharing your good news with us.
Thank you.